Alright, so next we are going to learn how to use Newton-Raphson method. Okay, so what is Newton-Raphson method? Basically, you want to find the x for that equation that cannot be solved. Okay, so as we see earlier, that we have, the first thing that we have to do is find the initial value. You know how to find your initial value by using graphical or algebraic method, and here we are going to improve this value by using an iterative process. So this is an iterative process. Okay, so we are going to use Newton-Raphson method. Okay, so there are few steps that you have to do. Okay, so let's just go straight to the note here. So the first step is we have to find our fx and f prime x. Okay, so let's go to the example 5. The question said using the Newton-Raphson method, find the solution of fx plus exponent x near x equals to negative 0.5 to 4 decimal places. Okay, so the first step is you have to write your fx and your f prime x. So this is our fx. So let's just write it first. So we have our fx equals to x plus exponent x, and we have to find our f prime x. So our f prime x is just differentiate this thing. Okay, differentiate x, we get 1. Differentiate exponent x, salin je balik, we have exponent x. Okay, so that is your first step. So the second step is we have to choose the first approximation or x naught. Okay, first approximation, which is we label it as x naught, to the root of the equation fx equals to 0. Okay, sometimes the question give you the initial value. Sometimes you have to find it by yourself. Okay, how? Let's say if the question give you the interval, as I said earlier, let's say here we have between x equals to 1, x equals to 2, you just take your x naught, the middle value, okay, the middle value between the intervals. So let's say here will be x naught equals to 1.5. Okay, so if the question gives to us, then it's easy, okay, easier for us. So this is your x naught. So write this as our x naught. So the step 2, make sure you have your x naught. So we have x naught is equals to negative 0.5. Okay, make sure you write everything. So the third step, this is the iteration. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to substitute the value of x naught into this equation. So you have to memorize this equation. So this is the Newton-Raphson method formula. Okay, so we have xn plus 1 equals to xn minus fxn over f prime xn. Okay, so basically yang banyak-banyak n ni sebenarnya the value of your x lah. Okay, we start with x naught. So this is the value of x naught first. Okay, which is x naught tu ialah x0. So here will be x1 lah. Okay, so we are going to do this a few times. Okay, so let's write the formula first. So step 3 is xn plus 1 equals to xn minus fxn over f prime xn, which is we have our fx here. Okay, we are going to write it as xn plus exponent xn. Okay, this is your fx, so let's put n here. Okay, so you know that sebab equation ni akan, formula ni akan terjadi few times, sebab tu kita letak dia sebagai n. Okay, so over f prime x, so this is our f prime x, 1 plus exponent xn. Okay, so this is the formula that you have to write. Okay, so what we are going to do first is we are going to substitute the value of x naught first. Okay, if this is your x naught, that means 0 plus 1, the next one's going to be your x1. Okay, equals to, so negative 0.5 minus negative 0.5 plus exponent negative 0.5 over 1 plus exponent negative 0.5. Okay, substitute everything in your calculator. Boleh masukkan, tekan calculator, cuba tekan dulu, boleh pause video and press your calculator. you are going to get a very large value, okay, a very long number. Okay, so here the question said, this is a very important thing to take note, 4 decimal places. Okay, your final answer has to be in 4 decimal places, but remember, for this chapter, in fact, for every chapter in your working solution, there is always, you have to put 1 extra in your working solution. Okay, if the question asks for 4 decimal places in the working, you have to put extra 1. That means here you have to put negative, we have here negative 0.56631. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. Okay, so next we are going to do this again by using this as our x. Okay, so x1, so this is your x1 lah. So we are going to use that as our x. So since this is our x1, so x1 plus 1, so the next one is x2 lah, obviously. So we are going to substitute that value, negative 0.56631 minus negative 0.56631 plus exponent negative 0.56631 divided by 1 plus exponent negative 0.56631. Okay, boleh tekan calculator semua. Make sure you have your calculator. Press your calculator. Put everything. Okay, make sure buat bracket. Okay, kalau nak senang, kira ini dulu. Ini tambah ini, bahagi ini, barulah ini tolak dengan answer. Okay, or you can just put everything in bracket. So here you should get negative 0.56714, 5 decimal places. Okay, because the question said 4 decimal places. 4 decimal places is only for the final answer. In the working solution, you have to put extra 1. Okay, so sampai bila kita nak buat iteration ni? Sampai bila? Sampai you have the same number. Okay, here we have, repeat the process until the answers agrees with specific number of decimal places. Okay, let's try one more time. We have x3. Okay, substitute here, this thing here, negative 0.56714. Substitute here, minus di sini, minus di sini, minus di sini. Okay, you can just press your calculator. Saya tulislah. Negative 0.56714 minus negative 0.56714 plus exponent negative 0.56714 divided by, tak muat pula ni, 1 plus exponent negative 0.56714. Okay, so what's your answer here? You will get negative 0.56714, which is, as you can see here, as you notice here, your x2 and your x3 is the same answers. Okay, must be in 5 decimal places. Okay, 5 decimal places, make sure it is in 5 decimal places. This has to be the same answer, then you can stop. Okay, then we are going to write our final answer, which is our x is equals to, in 4 decimal places, 0.567, and that will be our final answer. Okay, so you are going to do this iterative process until you got the same 2 answers. Okay, your answer, the last answer has the same answers. Okay, and then make sure to write according to the given question here. So kita cerita balik, what are we going to do for this Newton-Raphson method? The first thing is you just write your fx and f prime x so that it's easier for you to write your formula. The second step, choose a first approximation, your x0. Okay, so your x0 must be between A and B. Okay, if the value is given to you, then it's easy. Okay, for iteration process, As I said, working step must have extra 1 decimal places. Working must have extra 1 decimal places, and only 2 step of substitution must be shown. Okay, that means for x1, x2, this thing here has to be shown. Okay, you have to write this thing. Okay, for x3, you can just write the answer 7, 1. Okay, so the first 2 steps of substitution must be shown. Barulah boleh dapat markah. Okay. So, are we going to write this very long equation, very long formula into the calculator? Let's say if you have to do the iteration for 7, 8 times. Okay, are we going to do that? Nope. We have a simple way, which is you can use your calculator. Okay, so now take out your calculator. We are going to see how to do this by using our calculator. Okay, so here I have a calculator Casio 570 Plus. Okay, so yang pakai calculator putih lebih kurang sama. Okay, yang calculator hitam, kelabu ke yang lama tu, nanti saya tunjukkan macam mana lah. Alright, so now we are going to start from here. Okay, you have your fx, you have your f prime x, you have your x naught, and you have your formula here. Okay, this is your fx, this is your f prime x, and here is your x naught. Okay, so now we are going to input this equation into our calculator. So we first, okay, press alpha x, so this is your x, minus, okay, a fraction, so this is your fx, so write x plus exponent to the power of x. Okay, so this is your f prime x. We input the value of 1 plus exponent power x. Okay, so now we have the function, the formula for this one. Okay, what you have to do here is you have to press calculate here. Okay, CALC here. Okay, so the calculator asks for the value of x. So the value of x is the first value, which is the first value of your x is your x naught, which is negative 0.5. So we are going to input negative 0.5 in our calculator, and then we are going to press equal. So as you can see here, we have the value negative 0.566311032. Okay, the question asks for 4 decimal places. In the working step, you have to have 1 extra. So we take 0.56631. Okay, so that is our first answer for our x1. So if you want to find the second one, just press calculate, CALC, and then just press answer. Okay, tak perlu tulis pun ini, just write answer dekat situ. Okay, just input answer equals to, and then we have the second value, negative 0.56714. Okay, so sampailah kamu jumpa jawapan yang sama, calculate, answer, equal. Okay, which is we have the same value, and then we can stop, and that is going to be your final answer in 4 decimal places. Okay, so you can use your calculator, but remember that you have to show 2 steps of substitution must be shown. Okay, so let's try one more question. Example 6 here. Question said, show that the equation 2 sin x minus x equals to 0 has a root between x equals to 1 and x equals to 2 in radian. Okay, the first thing that you have to do is make sure your calculator in radian mode. So first, step 1, we have to write our fx and our f prime x. Okay, so our fx here is 2 sin x minus x. Okay. Oh, okay. So the first equation, show that equation 2 sin x minus x equals to x has a root. Okay. Show, the keyword is show. So ini balik kepada chapter 3.1. Okay, the algebraic method. So we have to show first. So first we write our fx, which is 2 sin x minus x. And then we have to substitute the value of A and B, between the intervals. So your interval here is actually 1 and 2 lah. So substitute 1, we are going to get 2 sine 1 minus 1, which is we get positive 0.68, a positive value. And if we substitute 2 sine 2 minus 2, we get negative 0.18, which is a negative value. Okay, the question asks to show, don't forget your conclusion. Okay, since there is a sign changes, the keyword is sign changes between 1 and 2. There is a root lies between them, between x equals to 1 and x equals to 2. Okay, so that is the first part of the equation, of the question. Okay, so the second part is find the root of the equation by using Newton-Raphson method. Okay, so back to what we have done earlier. So the first step is we have to write our fx and our f prime x. So our fx is 2 sine x minus x. Make sure you write this, everything, so it's easier for you to write the formula. Okay, so our f prime x is 2, is a constant. Differentiate sine x, you get positive cos x. So we have 2 cos x. Differentiate x, we have 1 minus 1. Okay, so that is your first step. And the second step is we have to find the x naught. Okay, so now it is not given to us in the question, but you know that your x naught can be the middle value between your intervals. So we have the interval 1, 2. So your x naught can be, so this is your second step. So your x naught is equals to 1.5. Okay. So we have everything. We have fx, f prime x, and the value of x naught. Now we can write the formula of Newton-Raphson method. So which is the formula is xn plus 1 is equals to xn minus atas fx bawah f prime x. So atas fx is this one here. Okay, so we are going to write 2 sine xn minus xn. Okay, kamu nak letak 2 sin x minus x pun tak ada masalah, boleh juga. Okay, just to represent it as the iterative process, we just put it as xn over f prime x, 2 cos xn minus 1. Okay, now we have the formula. Let's try to use our calculator. But remember first, the first 2 steps you have to show the substitution. Okay, let's just write the substitution first. So here is x1, your xn is your x naught, 1.5 minus 2 sine 1.5 minus 1.5 over 2 cos 1.5 minus 1. Okay, so now instead of kita substitute everything in the calculator, kita guna apa yang saya dah ajar tadi. Okay, first we have to input this formula. Okay, this part here. So x, alpha x minus a fraction alpha 2 sine alpha x minus x. Okay, make sure it is in radian mode sebab kita tengah buat trigo. So here our f prime x is 2 cos x minus 1. Okay, so now what are we going to do is we are going to press calculate here, CALC here, and then we are going to input the value of our x naught, which is 1.5, and then press equal. So here we have the value. Okay, so remember to take note what's the question asks, correct to 2 decimal places. Okay, that means in your working step you have to put 3 decimal places. Lebih pun tak apa, lebih tak apa, yang penting jangan kurang. Okay, so let's put 3 here. We are going to put 2.0 0.0765, that means 77. Okay, so we have 3 decimal places there. So for your x2, mesti kena tunjuk juga substitution. So just put here 2.077 minus 2 sin 2.077 minus 2.077 over 2 cos 2.077 minus 1. Okay, so for the next answer, just press CALC, answer equal. So we have 1.911. Okay, 3 decimal places. Alright. So for the next one, just press CALC, answer, CALC, answer. So x3 is equals to, just write the answer there. We have 1.895. Okay, masih lagi belum sama. So we are going to teruskan. We are going to continue. Okay, CALC, answer. So here we have 1.8. Sorry, di sini ialah 1.896 kan? 1.896. Okay, nampak tak? Satu decimal point pun akan berbeza dekat sini. So make sure to put extra 1 decimal place daripada apa yang soalan minta. Okay, so yeah, your x4 is 1.895. Okay, tak sama lagi, we are going to continue. x5 is equals to CALC, calculate answer, 1.895. Now we can stop. Okay, which is dah sama. Okay, now we can stop the iteration and put our final answer. Okay, remember the final answer asked for correct 2 decimal places. So you have to put 1.895, 2 decimal places is budakan, akan dapat 1.90. Okay, and that's going to be our final answer. Okay, so that is how we use Newton-Raphson method. Very simple actually. If you can use your calculator, very easy. Okay, so let's quickly go through example 7. Here we have by using x equals to 2 as an initial value. Okay, already given to us, that is our x0. Using Newton-Raphson method to find an approximate value of cube root 15. Okay, now the question doesn't give us fx. We only have approximate value of cube root 15. You know that for your first step, you have to find your fx and your f prime x. So what are we going to do here is we are going to let this as our x. So x is equals to cube root 15. Okay, the first step here is we are going to find our fx. Okay, so you know that if you want to find your fx, everything has to be equals to 0. Okay, so cube root bawa pergi sebelah, dia akan jadi cube x cube. Okay, punca kuasa bawa sebelah akan jadi cube lah. So equals to 15. Okay, rearrange everything equals to 0. We have x cube minus 15 equals to 0. So that's going to be our fx. So our fx is equals to x cube minus 15. So remember, if you have approximate value like this, just let as x equals to that value. Okay, so the first step asks us to find our f prime x, which is we have 3x squared here. Okay, so the second step is given to us, the initial value, which is x0 is equals to 2. Okay, so now we are going to write the Newton-Raphson method formula. We have xn plus 1 equals to xn minus, our fx is xn cube minus 15 over our f prime x is 3xn square. Okay, now we are going to use the calculator, but before that, remember the first 2 steps of your substitution has to be shown. We just can write that. This is going to be 1 equals to, this is going to be your x0, which is 2 minus 2 cube minus 15 over 3 2 square. Okay, so masukkan formula ni dekat dalam calculator kita. Alpha x minus fraction x cube minus 15 over 3x square. Okay, so now we are going to press CALC and our initial value is 2. We are going to press equal, which is here we have 31 over 12, but we want in decimal point. Okay, so it's easier for us to see when the value is going to be the same. Okay, so we have now you are going to look at the equation. You are going to look at the question and see what's the question asked you. Correct to 3 decimal places. Okay, so in your working step, you have to put 4. So here we will have 2.5833. Okay. So the second step, the second iteration, masih lagi kena tunjuk your substitution. Minus 2.5833 cube minus 15 over 32.5833 square. Okay, so we press CALC, answer equals to 2.4714. Okay, 4 decimal places. Alright, so only 2 of this you have to show the substitution. The next one you can just press CALC answer. Okay, you can just put the answer, which is here we have 2.4662. And the next one, your x4 is equals to also 2.4662. So now you can stop because the answer here, the iteration here is the same. So we can write the final answer. Make sure don't forget to write your final answer. Okay, so the question asked correct to 3 decimal places. So we have 2.46. Here is 3 decimal places. 2.466. Okay. Okay, so that is going to be your final answer. Okay, so that's the Newton-Raphson method. So this is your exit ticket for this subtopic. It's very easy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye bye.